Alright, yeah, shit's recording now. Alright, so yeah, what up, world? You are tuned into second episode of the Speakeasy Podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne.
And I'm Zeke, aka Zeke the ZYC, also known as Sadiq.
Yeah, so we're back again with another episode. It's funny, a lot has happened since, the last time you recorded. We went down to the New Eurekan. We got into a cipher with a couple of people. The performance ain't go as as planned, but it was cool. You know what I'm saying?
Cypher was more popping. I like the Cypher a lot more, and I saw the video on there. I'm actually gonna have to download it onto my phone because I saw it the other day. I was like, wow, everybody was in there just spitting bars, man.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean. I like that free flowing energy where you're in the cipher, and we're all out and about. There's nothing wrong with spitting a couple of bars you wrote, or just a couple of bars that you were freestyling, just thinking about. So
yeah,
these things are all great.
Yeah, indeed, and it's good to see how other people have their branding set up. Like this one cat, he has his own logo, he has his own website, he has his own vlog, like he has all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And a couple other people that had like some pretty dope EPs and stuff like that. I know a lot of these rappers had a scare because of this damn SoundCloud situation. SoundCloud sent out their suicide note that in 50 days I'm going to slip my throat from the rafters.
Eventually, we ended up finding out that Chance the Rapper was like the savior and all of this stuff.
Yeah, they got one more chance. Yeah.
So it's just funny, and I'm looking forward to seeing what SoundCloud does in regards to their company now that it's supposedly saved. Because they can't continue to go down the same path they've been going these past 3 years.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. I saw a couple of articles on the whole Chance thing. It just seemed like the company wasn't really. It was like, was the company really about to close up shop? You know what I'm saying? And then they would talk about like how Chance the Rapper, his image, how he's supposed to be like that that independent artist, but how you independent artist if you have like cosigns by Apple. Mm-hmm. It was a whole bunch of stuff.
But what is an independent artist?
I guess someone that's not signed to a label.
Someone who's, you could not be signed to a label and still be, or you could be signed to a label and still be independent. Is that possible? Is it? I'm just asking for the audience, just in case,
I don't know, man. All I know is that honestly, I didn't haven't liked Chance's acid rap. To be honest, he's a cool person. I kind of feel
like that out. That's what got me.
Oh,
man.
The coloring book?
Over coloring book? Of course not, because it's like it shows Chance's growth. Like coloring book is like displaying his growth, whereas like acid rap is like his debut to the public as a whole. Because there's probably people who heard Chance rap before acid rap.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. It just shows the growth. So obviously, I couldn't compare coloring book to acid rap. But if I had to say which one I could jam to more, which one I would more likely listen to. Mm-hmm. It'd probably be acid rap. Like he has some jams on there. For me though, that's just for me the type of music I like.
Yeah, exactly. Him and Vic Mensa actually. Like once they blew up, I don't know. I haven't liked anything they dropped since.
Oh yeah,
this is a
damn process, shame. I suppose. I like the recent project Vic just dropped, like the manuscript, and then he has like a whole new project. Like he has a song with I forgot who it was. One of them joints. I saw the track. He just recently released a track list or whatever. He called it the autobiography or something like that. So. I don't know. There's a track on there. It was like a lot of weird features that you wouldn't normally see on a hip hop album. So, but he's good for that, the versatility, and he does those things.
He can still rap. He ate niggas alive on Wildin' Out. I saw that shit.
I didn't see it yet, but I heard good things. I saw the first one he had.
He came.
Interesting, funny story about that. I was actually supposed to be on that show. I didn't show up to the what you call it, the tryouts.
Right.
For like the auditions or whatever in the city, ended up not going. All these people that season ended up being big these next few years, like these years.
Yeah.
So it's like it was great to know, to see where all that stuff stems from. But yeah, like Wildin' Out is also a great form of freestyle expression, if you ask me too, because it adds a comedic aspect.
Yeah.
Probably I don't know if I'm close to the microphone. It adds like a comedic aspect, and then on the same side of that, like you're put on blast to be like, display your skill set. How many people can even have like impromptu conversation, let alone on an instrumental and finding the right topic and everything. So that takes a lot of focus, and definitely you got to be gifted in a sense to be able to understand how that flows. But yeah, you know what I mean. And many people, they have their reasons for how they freestyle or why they say the things they do when they freestyle, and it's an art at this point, you know. So
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I mean, when it comes to me and freestyling, I haven't freestyled seriously in a minute. So like, cipher that we had that I have this 18-minute video that I gotta like cut up into like different segments because I can't post it on the gram just yet. But you know, like I haven't freestyled like seriously in a minute. I've done a bunch of, you know, satirical trap freestyles. Me and my brother and a couple other people, we get together. We just all just start doing like some facetious trap rap, you know, just saying funny shit or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's cool. It's good exercise, you know. But typically, like when I freestyle, like I'll just like if I'm driving or something like that, and the instrumental's playing, I'll just, you know, just experiment with flows and stuff. That's how I like come up with melodies and stuff like that.
Or just even a topic of a song, you know.
Yeah.
It's just you'd be surprised where inspiration stems from. Like,
yeah.
You know, I was having this conversation with someone yesterday, like around like my job or whatnot, and he was telling me like for weeks on end, like we worked with each other for months. He'd known that I had music or whatever. Like before I left on vacation,
Mm-hmm.
I said that I work on music or whatever. He told me he had a SoundCloud, so I gave him my SoundCloud, yeah. And then like when I got back, he had listened to it all or whatever, all the stuff on my SoundCloud. And it was just ironic to me, like he ended up rapping himself. Like he had like 2 new songs or whatever. And he started rapping, and like, you know what I mean? He was telling me, he's like, I didn't even know you did all this. Like I didn't know you did that either. And meanwhile, we're kicking it here for months on end at this job. Like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just unaware of what the other person really had to offer, like a situation. So like things like that, it makes me more aware of where my inspiration comes from and stems from. Like, you know what I mean? Some people are just like, oh, inspiration is obvious, and it's not so much that, like, you know, it's like a password, and, you know, you're not going to get to it until you get the password, and, you know, that's just my layman's description of it. But like, it's much more complex than many of us give it credit for.
Yeah, music definitely brings people together. I mean, I'm thinking about like just constantly you'll see people that, matter of fact, to go back to your point about, you know, you working with somebody for a minute, you not even realizing that y'all do music or whatever, and that he does music. Because a lot of people are like, yeah, you know, your coworkers aren't your friends, this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, like, it all depends, because, I mean, one of my co-hosts for my other podcast was a coworker. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the people that I listen to the other one of my podcasts, because I got several, you know what I'm saying, like, from work. Like, oh, I like your stuff. You got a nice radio voice and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, cut it out, ma. And, you know, stuff like that. So, I mean, you never know what anybody's into. You might find, like, it's a pool of resources. I guess they just mean, you know, don't fuck nobody at your job, which, I mean...
For obvious reasons. Like, you know, like, you don't want to get involved in all that dramatics. But what I'll say is this much, like, it's a lovely thing to know that you can't really take everything for face value. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's the best way to describe this situation per se is just like, you know, you ever hear the term or like the statement, or strangers are just friends you haven't met yet, or like, you know what I mean, or just like family you haven't met yet, or whatever. It's like the same thing for coworkers. Like, it's all contingent on how much you're getting intertwined with that of the antics and your standards. You know what I mean? That's all it is. It's a negotiation of that, personally. Because I wouldn't know jack shit about any of my coworkers if I didn't have a conversation with them. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm the type of person, I don't speak unless I'm spoken to. So if I don't speak to you about it, how could I know?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like people nowadays, they just have this like half-ass research method of them, where they're just like, I'm gonna handle this situation like this, because this is as much information I got on this. And you know what? It's this, and it's going to be this, and I'm going to push this, I'm going to put all my energy behind this, and only to find out later on that it's not what you thought it was, and it's just all this commotion to unravel what happened and what damage was caused and what more damage you did cause, you know? So, you know, all these things are cool to, like, acknowledge in a networking kind of atmosphere. Like, you're at the New Eurekan, or if you're in the city, or just anywhere, coworkers, your job. Because a lot of us, we walk around with this attitude that we know it all. Like, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's like, you don't know enough to know it all yet.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, most of the people that, you know, seem to say that they're know-it-alls don't really know much at all.
Yeah,
so.
I think that's a cry for help, really. It's like when you're a know-it-all, it's usually just like, educate me. Like, that's why I always saw that, because I used to be a know-it-all myself. Like, I grew out of it because I realized it wasn't giving me, like, I wasn't learning. Like, what I mean? Like, it wasn't giving me any kind of a sense of self. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just regurgitating information I get, and then doing no real research behind it. And this is when I was younger too. Like, you know what I mean? After a while, like once I started researching it, it became an addiction. Like, I wanted to know everything and why it happened. Every fluke, every whistle, everything that comes with it. Like, like what could go wrong, what could go right. Like, you know what I mean? Because that way you're able to navigate through that. I can navigate knowing what could go wrong or what can go right. I can't navigate just knowing what can go wrong. I can't navigate just knowing what can go right. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how it is.
Yeah, and that's what's dope about knowledge is that it's like a lifelong journey. You can constantly, just get more and more information.
Yeah.
It's like it's not something that I know everything now. Now I'm good. Like, nah, it's a constant thing. You got to constantly, refresh and revamp stuff. Certain things change.
And it's endless.
Yeah, exactly. So certain people will get like discouraged by that, and other people's like, "Yo, this is cool. Like, this won't get boring now."
Yeah, I'm personally never bored. Like, I say to people all the time, like, if I'm doing nothing, that's just what it is. I'm doing nothing. As a human being, I'm subjected and I'm allowed to be able to have time for myself where I'm not catering to someone else's at least, every need,
Right.
Sometimes it's just like, you need that moment to regenerate, and then help when you can, because sometimes people can keep taking and taking, but they don't know how much left of you have to give. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's like, that's a spiritual thing. It has nothing to do with like anything external, like, or like finances or anything of that nature. It's like a spiritual thing, because like energy is important. Like, energy is all this. Like,
Yeah.
And like a majority of the time, that's all many people got to give, because that's what makes them them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, their energy, like who they are. When you walk in a room, they know that people are gonna be attracted to them in a certain way. You know what I mean? Not attracted in the way we all have been like romanticized into thinking of what attraction is, but like, just we know how people are going to react to us in a certain way. We know how we react. So, man, like all that stuff I'm learning now is very technical. Like, it's a scientific aspect to it, and I don't think many people are aware of it all the time, because they figured, like, they're so engulfed in what's going on the surface level of things that it's impossible to dig deep underneath and just explore that too. Picture like exploring, not even being able to explore the top surface of this planet, and then having to also explore like a hollowed out part underground. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
There's so much more to it. Like, you know what I mean? To say it's one way for every occurrence or every person is kind of like the half-ass approach to, like typing an essay where you just like copy and paste things and put them in the freaking page or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Wikipedia essay effect.
Right.
So
I'm thinking about like the whole energy thing you're talking about. Prime example is last Monday when dude, I think his name was Poppy Picasso, came in. He did this spoken word about what a man really is.
Yo, and I shouts to him too, yo, because every single woman in that room walked out with him when he left.
Yeah, like for real. Like,
no lie.
Like I had cause I found it on YouTube, whatever. I shared it with some other people, and yeah, I mean his entourage was like a bunch of people from like a blaxploitation film, which is a compliment to me. I love women with afros and all that.
Favorite?
Yeah,
I'm a Pam Grier guy myself.
Yeah. So like he just came in, he just said that, like it just shook up the room, and then like when he left, he took all the energy with him.
Mm-hmm. Literally, because you know what, his words held so true to what was going on in the ambiance.
Yeah.
Like, and you know what, it was him and the other guy. The guy with the blue shirt, and he was talking about the prison stint poem. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that rang true as well, but I don't think it rang as true as what Poppy Picasso was saying.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, like, he know what I've noticed? People love being entertained, but not nearly as much as they love being men and women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're more men and women than anything else. So, I feel like, whereas this dude who was in the blue shirt, he did a damn good job as well. He captivated the crowd, you know what I mean? He made his words mean something, and his delivery was impeccable. Poppy Picasso walked up there, and he had all that as well. But it was just like the topic of discussion that resonated with everyone.